Hey friends, happy Tech Tip Day. So last week we showed you guys how to mount a television set, and today we're going to take this bad boy off the wall and we are going to show you how to fish some cables. All right, so we got that TV dismounted now. Let's talk a little bit about here. We got this electricity outlet that was previously ran, and we got this jack here that was previously ran for low voltage. A lot of times you're going to see maybe a Cat 5 or Cat 6 jack here and some coax cable to put a cable box behind the back of the TV. But we're going to want to have our sources live on a table underneath. So we're going to use this existing hole as our top hole and fish the cables we need through it. We're going to cut a nice hole at the bottom and show you how to get a wire from one hole to the other. All right, so we're going to get this hole set up. So a couple quick things. First thing I want you guys to do is I want you to run around the room and I want you to find another outlet, either electrical or low voltage, and I want you to measure from the ground to the bottom of the outlet to get us a height. We'd like to be able to have that height match all throughout. So in our instance, my electrical outlets in this house are all horizontal and they're 14 inches from the ground. So we're going to measure our 14 inch to the bottom real quick. Pop a mark there. It's going to be my bottom. Then I'm going to throw a piece of blue tape, my favorite blue tape as you've seen in previous episodes, left to right here. So we can check for some studs, see if we got any studs going on that are going to get in our way. So we're going to take this bad boy. We got one right there, so we're going to put a mark there. So we don't have any other studs in our way, so we're going to go ahead and get this hole set up to be cut. We're going to use this device here, call this a retrofit ring. It's a great little device. It will screw into the wall, and then when it screws into the wall, it's going to allow us to attach a wall plate to it to give a finished look. So we're going to put this bad boy at 14 inches to the right of our stud here. I'm going to level this bad boy off. For ease of use, I'm going to take and put a small dot in every corner. Then we can go ahead and we can cut this hole out. Cut our horizontal hole, go vertical here. Make this bad boy a little bit bigger. Get this bad boy screwed in. And now we're ready to fish from the top to the bottom. All right, so we got our hole cut, got our hole on the top and a hole on the bottom, and now we're gonna fish some cable. So a couple tools that you may see a pro walk into your house with are as follows. This is called a fish stick, green stick, glow stick, all things I've heard. It is nylon, it is bendable, and it is an awesome tool. We can use this to shove down a wall that's heavily insulated and push through some things. The other thing is it's rigid enough where if we were going to put it in an attic, it can hold steady for quite a distance, so we can push wires a long distance. Secondarily, we have a fish tape. There are many types of fish tape. This is a steel fish tape. We can have a nylon fish tape. Different fish tape materials for different fishes, but this is going to be a relatively simple fish because we're just going from one hole to the other hole. So with that being said, we are going to, on a further Tech Tip Day, show you guys how to put some in-wall speakers in. So I'm going to run 2 speaker wires along with an HDMI cable, which we can use to plug into a source such as an Xbox or a cable box, DVD player, so on and so forth. I want to talk real quick about the fact that these cables that we're using are CL3 rated. You're going to see a lot of acronyms. CL3 rated is an acronym that you'll find in the low voltage world, and basically what it's stating is that these cables have low toxicity, or they have low chemical count inside of them. So if this cable were to ever light on fire, it is not going to act like a wick, and it is not going to burn your house down. It is going to be a slow burning cable, and you should be using all CL3 rated cables when you're putting stuff inside the wall. So what I'm going to simply do is I'm gonna take these 3 cables that I'm using, my 2 speaker wires and my HDMI cable. I'm gonna grab a little electrical tape here. We're gonna just tape these cables very, very softly onto this fish stick, not the type your kids eat. Whenever I tape, I have a simple rule. Always leave a tail, because it's always fun trying to get the tape back off these wires. In a typical situation, if gravity is an option, I prefer to fish with gravity. Every once in a while, gravity is not an option, but this time we're going to fish with gravity, so I'm just going to bend this stick. So I'm going to put my finger in here to kind of pinch down on the rod and force it to go straight down. And we are simply going to feed this rod straight down our hole here. Nice to have that tab. You can recover your cabling quickly. Okay, now we got some wire. Well, we got some wires through here, so that's good. And I just want to let you guys know, I chose to use about 15 feet of cable for each one of these wires. So I cut the speaker wires, they ended up a little bit long, and I used a 15-foot HDMI cable. And the reason why I use cables of that length is because what ends up happening is if you don't pay attention to where the inputs are on the back of your television set, and this ends up short, it's a mess. So what we do is we have some length so that we can manage this cable to be able to wrap around the brackets. If your inputs were on the left side, we could wrap it if the inputs were on your right side, and so on and so forth. And then, like I talked about, in a later tech tip, we're gonna run some speakers around this television set, so we got our speaker wire prepped and ready to go for us to run that. And last but not least, in this instance, we're probably gonna put a piece of furniture underneath this TV. And so basically by having some nice slack at the bottom, we can route this cabling through that TV stand and not have any worry with being short on the length there. So last thing we're gonna do to clean this up is we're gonna plate both locations. So I got a couple wall plates here. I do like the finished product to look finished. So the last thing we're gonna do, we're gonna grab these wires, we're gonna pop them inside this plate. Give ourselves a nice finished look, and we'll do the same thing on the bottom. And we are all set, and thanks for joining us. Don't miss next week when we put speakers in the wall on the side of this TV. Have a great day.